Everybody, good morning. How's it going? Welcome to Monday. Woohoo! It's Monday morning here in the Napa Valley and everywhere around the world mostly. I hope you're doing great and had a great weekend. Hey, I have a question for you today. On the news, I heard that they're getting rid of the valedictorians of classes now because they don't want to create competition among people. And what do you guys think about that? Do you think we should have a class valedictorian and salutatorian? Or do you think, like, are we like finding ways to celebrate mediocrity? That's the, the famous Incredibles quote. But I'm curious to know what you think about it. I think it's amazing to honor people's efforts, and the people who are the valedictorian, I know they're trying really hard, but you wonder, I'm sure they're doing it so people don't like kill each other or kill themselves crazy trying to do it. But anyway, I hope you guys are having an awesome day. I'm going to get right to it this morning. Today we're talking about when your pain and your pleasure wires get twisted. It's something I've been examining in my own life. I want to share it with you. This morning I had two implementations of pain in my life that I learned from. This is one of them. It is a large knife. And then this is the other one. This is a pair of Spanx. If you guys don't know what Spanx are like a modern day girdle. They just hold everything in. They're pretty awesome. So I have this one dress that I have to wear Spanx with, or I do wear Spanx with. And I just wanted to talk to you about that this morning. Not about the Spanx, but about how pain is such a good teacher, right? Pain, it teaches us, and like when you touch that stove and you're two and it's hot, you try never to touch that stove again. And this knife taught me a lot about pain a long time ago, and it took me a while to warm up to it again, because our goal a lot of times is to avoid pain and to find pleasure. Well, I was one time slicing an avocado, and I got so lazy. I was like, all the little knives were dirty, so I decided, I'm just going to use this knife to get the seed out of the avocado. And you guys can imagine what happened, because I was holding it, and then I went to chop it to get the seed out, and because it's so long, it accidentally went through my hand in this part. And I ended up at the emergency room, and that taught me a really good lesson. I have not used this knife for chopping avocados since. No, I barely use it. Actually, I didn't even like to use it for a while, but now I do. No, I'm good. I got over my pain. And then the Spanx have caused me a lot of pain. And what happened, I got a Spanx injury, you guys. Is that the dumbest thing? The first time I went to put on, I heard how like sturdy they were and how tight they were. So I'm putting them on, and it's like it's kind of like a bodysuit. Like you put your legs through and then you pull it up, and it goes all the way up to like, past your tummy and up to your chest kind of. And so I put them on, and I had my legs in, and then I thought they were so strong that I yanked really hard back like this. I just went, and of course they were not as strong as I thought, and so I ended up crunching my back, and I had to lay down it took me like days to get over it because my back got so squished up from pulling it. Anyway, I have never done that again, because pain is a good teacher, and now I just simply slip them on, and I don't make it a big dramatic deal, and I don't lay in bed with a Spanx injury for a long time. But here's the thing that happens. Sometimes we start attaching pain, and we learn to do things to avoid pain, but sometimes we start attaching pain to things that should cause us pleasure. Like I said, a lot of our life we spend trying to avoid pain and gain pleasure, and so we develop habits that are shaped by the way that we do this. So a lot of times avoiding pain. So if you, for instance, let's say, and you have a relationship that goes bad, or you have a man or a woman that treats you bad, a lot of times we can begin to associate pain to that thing that should be a source of pleasure for us, and we begin to avoid that thing, and is very harmful to us. And we got our wires crossed sometimes. So for instance, if you look at all the stars that are like celebrities like Elvis and Whitney Houston and Michael Jackson and Prince and all these guys that you think they should have massive amounts of pleasure in their lives, but really they are avoiding facing pain. A lot of addictions are avoiding facing the pain in your life because for that moment the pleasure is greater, right? And that's why we have addictions. But if you think about it, it's really crossed up because addictions destroy lives. Addictions, gambling addictions, pornography addictions, substance abuse, those things actually end up being a greater source of pain than they do of pleasure in the end. And sometimes we can get those crossed and mixed up. Or for instance, when Livy was little and I had really severe anxiety, severe panic disorder, taking her to the park, which should have been like the most fun thing and having fun and being out in the sun, it was a nightmare. I connected pain to it because my anxiety was so bad. I would leave crying every time I tried to take her to the park. It took everything I had to even go outside to take her to the park, and it was just this awful experience for me. And so what happens is sometimes we do that, where we get the wires crossed. And the things that we should take pleasure in, they give us pain, and the things that should be painful, we take pleasure in it. But it can mess up your life. But the good news is you can fix that. What you can do in most cases, good morning Heidi, is learn to attach the right pain and the right pleasure to the right thing that you want to grow. So for instance, if you have a habit that you want to quit, so like smoking, Christine quit smoking I think a year or two ago, and I just saw you save like $10,000 in not smoking. That's incredible. What you can do is you begin to condition your mind to, if you want to quit smoking, condition your mind to attach pain to smoking. So the pain of spending all that money smoking, it begins to outweigh the pleasure of, hey, I saved $1 or whatever. The pain of, or for instance, I had to try a new place yesterday, and I get scared when I try new places. And I went and I was feeling afraid. It was causing me a little pain, but what I did was I attached the pleasure to going to that place and breaking through my barrier, and it was fine. It was totally fine. I was just like, this is so dumb. Let's do it. Or for instance, we have at home an espresso machine. We make awesome coffee, but I still like to go to the coffee shop and get, because I have pleasure attached to it. This is one thing I realized when I was learning about this. I have pleasure, a concept of pleasure, attached to going to the coffee shop instead of making coffee at home. So what I started doing was I started attaching pain to that concept. Good morning, Jake. Good morning. I started attaching pain to that concept. So, okay, I want to go get coffee, but now I realize, oh shoot, I'm gonna have to spend like $5 to do that. And if I spend $5 a day, or however much, that's like almost $40 a week. And so then I started attaching pleasure to drinking my coffee at home. So that is one way that you can intentionally change habits, is by attaching pain and pleasure to the things that you want to change. So I know this is kind of a weighty topic, but I just want to encourage you to think about that today. What things are you attaching pain to that should be pleasurable? And you can push through that pain to find the pleasure in it. And what things are you attaching pleasure to that should be painful? The things that in the end they're not going to be very good for you. They may even affect your life, destroy your life, and they should be painful. But sometimes we find joy in those things. So think about it and just, ask God to show you, like, where's an area of my life where I have these receptors mixed up, and then make conscious choices to try to get those things straight, so that you can shape the way that you think about things by attaching pain or pleasure to them. So anyway, that's it for today. I hope you guys have an awesome week. We have a great interview on Friday. I'm actually going to be interviewing my dad. And I did an interview with my mom over Christmas, and we were there in Texas, but they're going to be here on Friday, and I'm going to be interviewing him. It's going to be so fun, and you'll get a chance to know my dad. They're going to be in town. They're coming on Thursday, so super excited, and I can't wait for it, so it's going to be great. Anyway, I love you guys. Have an awesome morning and a great week, and may your minds be fierce, and your heart strong, and your spirit very kind. Love ya. Mwah. Bye.